In the news tonight, military engages media on maintaining peace in election 2016.
Dredging and desilting works continue on Odo River.
And in foreign news, French President François Hollande warns of Boko Haram threats ahead of summit in Nigeria.
Hello, good evening and welcome. This is News Hour live on your all news channel GBC24 and GTV. My name is Akpene Avo Ajaja.
And my name is Selike Makola Chapalu. It's a pleasure to have you join us. In the news tonight, the media has been urged to be circumspect in their reportage, especially at this critical time in the run-up to the November polls.
The Chief of Defense Staff, Air Marshal Michael Samson Oje, made a call during an interactive session among the military, the police and the media in Accra.
The event is part of the military's strive to maintain a cordial relationship between the media and security agencies to maintain peace in the election year.
The event attracted journalists, news editors, as well as senior police and military officers to interact and share ideas on how to maintain peace this election year. The Inspector General of Police, John Kudalo, emphasized the media's gatekeeping role in ensuring peace in the country.
We must eschew any reportage that is decisive or that which would create disturbances in the country. In the November general election, you owe it a duty to the motherland to play your role in a manner that will not tear our country apart.
Chief of Defense Staff Air Marshal Michael Samson Oje said, in the months leading up to the elections, there is the need for the security agencies and the media to collaborate for the maintenance of peace in the country.
Please do not add fuel to the political environment by the nature of your reportage. Try to always confirm your facts, report objectively, and be always mindful of the impact of your report.
He addressed media concerns over the military's handling of 5 soldiers who are alleged to have manhandled a boy in Tamale.
All that report about some few indisciplined soldiers is being handled. I can assure you, with my present command and even those of previous commands, will not tolerate indiscipline.
The GJA president, Mr. Afomoni, said it is important for the media to churn out reports which unite rather than divide the nation.
This is the time to leverage the power and the sword constructively and not destructively to ensure social progress, to promote our economic upswing, and to accelerate the forward momentum of our democracy.
The event will be repeated every 2 months.
Dredging of the Odo River, which enters the sea through the Kole Lagoon, is in progress. Ghana was struck by a flood-related tragedy in June last year when the Odo drain bursted banks following a downpour. The ongoing dredging is to ease the flow of water in the passage to prevent flooding as the rains set in. Our reporter, Shelley Bewa, went round the Odo River and now reports.
There are 9 major drainage basins in the capital, namely the Odo, Lafa, Chemu, Peshin, Otuklote, Mokwe, Lasongo, and Kole Lagoons. The dredging and desilting of the Odo water passage is being done by Dredge Masters Limited, a Ghanaian company. The water is now flowing freely from the Kwame Nkrumah Circle side of the drain. With the help of excavators, payloaders, and dump trucks, the sludge blockage at the Kole Lagoon portion is being cleared. This part has been identified as the major cause of flooding during the rainy season. Meanwhile, irresponsible disposal of rubbish continues at a section of the Kole Lagoon yet to be dredged, adding to the blockage. A fisherman at Kolegono, near Akwe Alifa, says the last time they found fish in the lagoon was many years ago because of the blockage.
We used to fish here, but it is now muddy. When the lagoon is dredged, we hope to resume fishing again.
The area where the lagoon enters the sea has also been littered with used bottles and plastics. A stitch in time, they say, saved 9. For GBC24, Shirley Bewa reporting.
And now to the Bono-Ahafo region. Under a program dubbed Development of Skills for Industry Projects, Ghana has started the process of transforming technical education from the current traditional mode of teaching to what is called competence-based training method. In line with this, the College of Technology of the University of Education, Winnipeg's Kumasi campus, which is leading the transformation process, has organized the training program to prepare its lecturers to handle the CBT in Ghana. The training took place in Sunyani.
Over the years, Ghana has been grappling with the problem of producing graduates that are not fit for the industrial sector. It is to correct the situation that the Council for Technical and Vocational Education and Training, COTVET, with support from the African Development Bank, AFDB, is moving Ghana from the traditional form of instruction in technical education to the competence-based training, or CBT. This form of education makes the trainee relevant to industry. The director of CBT at COTVET, Mr. Damte Tete, told GBC24 they chose to partner the College of Technology in the rolling out of CBT because teachers have a major role to play in the transfer of attitudes and skills needed to meet the needs of industry.
The system is changing. One technology is changing. That's why we are developing so many models, so many units, in such a way that this person can come and pick it from that institution, and then he will bring his, basically we say upskilling, or update his knowledge and skills in the new trends of fixing cars or whatever, or in that particular trade that the person finds himself.
In line with this, the College of Technology is being supported to train the manpower needed to ensure a smooth transition to CBT. A group of about 30 lecturers were in Sunyani for the 10-day training to be schooled in aspects of CBT. The principal of the College of Technology of the University of Education, Winnipeg, Pro Engineer Raymond Okai, explained further that a program subsequent to this training would entail the upgrading of 20 lecturers to master's degree level, with 5 others being upgraded to PhD level.
The USAID program implementing agency Africa Lead has identified the youth as change agents to boost agriculture to ensure food security in Africa. Africa Lead is therefore training the youth to develop interest in agriculture to help save the continent from hunger and starvation. In the latest exercise, about 40 university students were trained at Brekusu in the eastern region.
According to UN estimates, about 870 million people in the world do not have access to food. More than 90% of this number is in developing countries. Factors such as bad weather, bad farming practices, and post-harvest losses continue to make it difficult for Africa to achieve food security. Agriculture experts have identified the non-involvement of energetic youth in agriculture as a major contributor to food shortage on the continent. The USAID implementing agency Africa Lead thinks the youth have a big role in promoting agriculture. For the past 5 days, these young men and women at the Ashesi University have been receiving a training termed Champions of Change. They are expected to lead a dramatic change in agricultural production in Ghana and Africa for that matter. The West Africa Regional Director of Africa Lead, Madame Carla Denizard, encouraged the youth to persevere for victory.
We eat every day. We still have to have, that knowledge and awareness that we have to sustain, our populations, and we have to grow food and promote food security, promote agribusiness. And so really that's what we're here, is to raise awareness within the student population that, the careers in agriculture and agribusiness are plentiful and are necessary, and that we need to pay attention to that.
The participants thought the training was of much value.
We have the privilege of being educated with our nation's resources, so the onus now lies on us to find little ways to create innovations to help these smallholder farmers take down their losses.
I've been going to the field with the farmers, and we've been encouraging them to form farm association, but they don't have the skills. So as a leader, what are the skills that a leader requires? So from that, I have gotten the skills. I think when I go to the village to educate them, I'll be able to give them some of the skills. And I think this program is very important because the problem with agriculture is with the leaders.
Africa Lead has already trained university students in Nigeria for the same agricultural revolution.
And here in the capital, Elkat Fire Dealers and Firefighting Equipment has presented some firefighting and safety equipment worth 55,000 Ghana cedis to the Ghana National Fire Service.
The fire equipment included firefighting delivery hoses, hand control branches and smoke detectors. The rest are Wellington boots and dry chemical powder fire extinguishers. The chief executive of Elkat Fire, Mr. Ohene Mensah, who presented the items, stated that the donation formed part of the company's corporate social responsibility, although it was also in response to an appeal made by the chief fire officer. The Chief Fire Officer, Dr. Albert Brown-Gazy, thanked Elkat Fire for the gesture and appealed to other organizations to also support the Ghana National Fire Service to discharge its duties effectively.
A businessman, Mr. Fred John Egan, has presented an amount of money to kidney patient Adansi Pipim. Mr. Egan, who is an importer and exporter, used the platform to call on individuals and benevolent organizations to come to the aid of the kidney patient. 20-year-old Adansi Pipim, who is suffering from kidney failure, is urgently appealing for support to enable him undergo kidney transplant in India, which will cost 60,000 Ghana cedis. Further examinations conducted by a consultant cardiologist at the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital in Kumasi, Dr. Berna Inkum, revealed that the patient is also suffering from other conditions, all resulting from the kidney problem. Since December last year, Adansi has had to undergo dialysis sessions twice a week at the cost of 400 Ghana cedis. The financially struggling family has already spent about 5,000 Ghana cedis on their son's illness. And this is News Hour live on your news channel, GBC24 and GTV. We'll be right back shortly. Don't go away.
Welcome back now. What's happening in the world of business? 29 women groups from the Bono-Ahafo region are the latest to benefit from the small loan scheme from the Microfinance and Small Loan Center, MASLOC. The loan amount of 284,700 Ghana cedis obtained to enable the women expand their businesses was facilitated by the First Lady, Mrs. Lodina Mahama.
On a recent visit to the Bono-Ahafo region, the women group of about 290 put their request before the First Lady, Mrs. Lodina Mahama, to assist them access loans from the Microfinance and Small Loans Center, MASLOC, to grow their businesses. Through her intervention, staff of MASLOC, together with the Chief Executive, Mrs. Sedina Tamakula-Tiono, were in the Bono-Ahafo region to disburse a total amount of 284,700 cedis to the women. Mrs. Sedina Tamakula-Tiono entreated the women to pay back the loan on time so that others can also benefit. She added that the loan was opened to all women who are into trading and encouraged those who are interested to form groups. The women on their part promised to use the loan for the intended purpose. With a 2% interest rate, MASLOC has disbursed loans to many clients in the informal sector to expand their businesses.
Still in business, Airtel Ghana, one of the fastest growing telecommunications networks in the country, has constructed and handed over a 3-unit classroom block to authorities of Dubila Primary School at Zwarungu in the Upper East region. The gesture forms part of Airtel's Touching Lives flagship program under its Corporate Social Responsibility Initiative.
Dubila Primary School is one of the few schools in the Bolgatanga municipality that lacks adequate classroom block. Over the years, pupils who complete class 3 had to continue their schooling at Akayonka, a nearby community which is about 6 kilometers from Dubila. In 2011, the MP for Bolgatanga East constituency, Dr. Dominic Ayen, appealed to Airtel Touching Lives flagship program and the school was selected. The head teacher of the school, Daniel Anya Asembono, said the school still needs classrooms, ICT center, teaching, kindergarten, and learning materials. The Director of Legal and Corporate Affairs, Airtel Ghana, Mrs. Hannah Agbuzo, said the company believes that through education, the potential of the children will be harnessed.
Every one of us have the innate potential to be the best we can be if we are given the right environment and self-belief. That is why we are resolute in our commitment to unleash the potential of Ghanaians wherever they are found, wherever they are located.
And in what's happening on the foreign front in business, a survey shows that profits of major companies in Japan for the fiscal year that ended in March more or less leveled off from the figure from the previous 12 months.
Major brokerage firm Nikko Securities compiled the data from companies listed on the first section of the Tokyo Stock Exchange. Pre-tax profits of 995 companies decreased 0.2% from the previous business year to about $280 billion. That came about due to the stronger yen denting profits of major exporters in the January to March period. The steel industry suffered a 47.6% decline in profits, affected by the slowdown of the Chinese economy and other emerging markets. Sea transportation reported a 44.8% decrease. Wholesalers, including trading firms, saw a 44.3% decline due to stagnant crude oil prices. In contrast, air transportation profits rose 39.2% on a drop in fuel costs. Textiles went up 19.8% due to the lower cost of raw materials. Retail rose 28.6%, backed by active spending by foreign travelers.
U.S. tech giant Apple has invested $1 billion in an app. The Chinese firm announced the deal on Friday. Didi provides a smartphone app that hails a taxi whenever it's needed.
About 300 million users are registered for its service, giving it a dominant share of the Chinese market. The company says it will use the funding from Apple to enhance its capacity to process a huge amount of user information and to improve its service and develop new capabilities. Apple CEO Tim Cook said he is extremely impressed by the business Didi has built and their excellent leadership team. He says he looks forward to supporting them as they grow. Apple is said to be interested in entering the business of self-driving vehicles by using its artificial intelligence and map data technologies. Self-driving vehicles are a promising sector where competition is heating up globally. Observers say Apple apparently made the investment to boost its competitiveness in the self-driving sector.
And that's all in business. Stay tuned. We'll be back with the My Journey segment.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to My Journey, our reporter's diary of events across the country. My name is Amos Eko Kofi. Now, they are often not on when and where they are most needed. Streetlights in Accra are set to cost 16 million Ghana cedis per month or 192 million Ghana cedis per year. The Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, charges 5% on every bill for street lighting. But Accra and some parts of the country are most often left in the darkness. On my journey tonight, we walk you through some of the dark streets of Accra.
This is Accra at night. The city looks very dark. Though street lights have been mounted in parts of the city, especially along the principal or ceremonial streets, driving through Accra remains a challenge for both drivers and pedestrians as each tries to find his way through the dark. A street lightening levy charged on electricity bills is supposed to go into lightening the streets and making visibility easier at night.
We also have what we call statutory levies. We are talking about 10% on the energy, 5% to do with rural electrification or energy development, and 5% is taking care of street lightening. Then we have the service charges that have been approved for us by PURC.
Consumers have often questioned the rationale for the levy since most streets goes without any or proper illumination all year. This is a drive through the Spintex Road in Accra. Visibility is very difficult due to the absence of street lights in the area. This is Atiko, a suburb of Accra, and this is how dark this sprawling suburb of Accra can be at night without street lights. This dark area is Awudom Estate, and this is how Awudom Estate looks at night. This is Bubuashi Station in another suburb of Accra. This is how the place looks like. Residents who spoke off camera say a number of women have been raped in the area at night due to the absence of street lights. These residents, however, are quick to point out that the police patrol in the area at night has contributed greatly in reducing such incidents. We decided to drive through the ring road from the police headquarters to Circle. Some of the people who spoke to GBC24 say their bills have been ballooned by these charges, and if the lights are not working, then they should not be charged.
The percentage ECG have been taking is too much for us, and therefore, while they are taking it, the light should be always on.
Oh, he can 50 Ghana 1 week per attack. You
can get a light over here, but the next pole you don't get light. You go to another place, one corner you can have a light there, another place you don't get. And then when the bulb is, when the bulb is dead, you don't come and change it. So we have problems.
The problem is not only in Accra. Kumasi is also suffering the same challenge. This is Aloga Junction in Kumasi, and lightning at night is in good shape, but residents say they go off very often. Development experts say maintaining these lights are very expensive and suggest the use of LED lights or solar power which are durable. Electricity consumers will continue to pay the 5% charge for street lighting, but until the authorities fix the lights, the streets will continue to be dark.
That's it for my journey. My name is Amos Eko Kofi. The news continues after this break.
Welcome back, and still on the local front, medical doctors across the country have been implored to communicate meaningfully with their patients and disclose or admit to medical errors committed during consultations. This is to avoid complaints usually made by patients accusing doctors of misconduct. At an induction ceremony for 125 doctors here in Accra, the chairman of the Medical and Dental Council, Dr. Eric Asamoah, entreated the doctors to exhibit a sense of responsibility, compassion, commitment, and dedication towards their patients. A report by Sarah Ofuri.
The induction ceremony of the doctors, some of whom are foreign trained,
follows a 5- and 7-year training at the University of Ghana School of Medicine and Dentistry. Trained in disciplines such as surgery, child health, obstetrics and gynecology, as well as internal medicine, dentistry, psychiatry and anesthesia, the doctors are now due for a 2-year housemanship in accredited health facilities across the country, after which they will be registered permanently as doctors. Chairman of the Medical and Dental Council, Dr. Eric Asamoah, asked the doctors to be exemplary in their profession, compassionate, have a sense of humor, and the ability to communicate as well as work as a team.
People will die despite your very best efforts. Complications occur even to the most skilled and most cautious. And a single complaint by a patient or a client about you to the Medical and Dental Council, even if ultimately found to be unwarranted, will forever change you. Change you not for the better, but for worse. An experience that you should go through.
Minister for Health, Mr. Alex Segbefia, tasked the doctors to be prepared and dedicated to confronting persistent and new challenges of the profession.
Diseases which a few years ago were thought to be alien in our part of the world are now becoming more common. And that has to do mostly with non-communicable diseases. The patients who some time ago will be satisfied with whatever prescription you write will now want more information and even question the rationale for taking certain decisions. All these are developments that we need to prepare for and confront as professionals.
The doctors were advised to be accountable for every decisions or discretions exercised and document every prognosis made of the patient.
Whatever you do to the patient is your responsibility. You have to justify it. What you are going to do, either even if you kill the patient, know how to talk to the patient very well. If you don't communicate very well, you don't tell the patient what you are doing, then all what you do for the patient, you just get up and say, Dr. Nokrase. As a house officer, what you have to do is to document, write everything. If you like, write about 3 pages and present it to your seniors. Don't behave. If your senior doesn't write, it doesn't mean that you should not write. They are bad habits.
Some parents entreated the new doctors to seek the wisdom of God and tasked them to wake up to the call, no matter the time and place, to alleviate the pain of patients. Zero Fori, GBC24, Accra.
In the international segment, French President François Hollande has warned ahead of a summit in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, that militant group Boko Haram remains a threat. This was the case despite impressive gains against the group, Mr. Hollande said after meeting his Nigerian host, Muhammadu Buhari. Leaders of countries making up a force against the Islamist group are among those attending Saturday's summit. The group's 7-year insurgency has killed some 20,000 people. More than 2 million have been displaced from their homes. Boko Haram militants have been attacking civilian targets as the Nigerian military seeks to wrest territory from their control. President Buhari is welcoming counterparts from Benin, Cameroon, Chad and Niger for the gathering in Abuja, along with the French President, UK Foreign Secretary Philip Hammond, and the US Deputy Secretary of State.
The UN Security Council says it is alarmed by ties between Nigeria's Boko Haram Islamist militant and the Islamic State group. In a statement, it said Boko Haram, which pledged allegiance to IS in 2015, continued to undermine the peace and stability in West and Central Africa. Meanwhile, a senior U.S. official said there are reports of Boko Haram fighters joining IS in Libya. Nigeria is hosting a summit on fighting Boko Haram.
Brazil's suspended President Dilma Rousseff has criticized the new interim government created by her former vice president for being entirely made up of white male politicians. It is the first cabinet with no women in Brazil since 1979. Ms. Rousseff said it did not represent the country, one of the world's most ethnically diverse nations. Her government had 7 women among its 31 ministers. Ms. Rousseff is facing trial after the Senate voted to impeach and suspend her. She is accused of illegally manipulating finances to hide a growing public deficit ahead of her re-election in 2014, which she denies.
Back in Africa, Ugandan opposition leader Kizza Besigye, who has been under virtual house arrest since the presidential election in February, was charged with treason after being whisked out of the capital. Besigye disputed veteran President Yoweri Museveni's victory in the election. The government insists Museveni's victory was valid and says Besigye is trying to hold illegal protests. He was arrested in the capital Kampala after staging a ceremony at which he was mock sworn in as president and taken to Moroto. Treason is a capital offense in Uganda, but the death penalty has not been carried out for years. Besigye was previously charged with treason in 2005, but the case was later dropped.
Namibia can now export beef to Hong Kong after the Hong Kong Veterinary Authority approved the health certificates for the import of beef from abattoirs in Windhoek and Okahanja. The Namibian Ministry of Agriculture made the announcement at a media briefing in Windhoek. Hong Kong is, after South Africa and the European Union, the third international market Namibia has secured for its much sought-after beef. Namibia has also applied for an import permit to mainland China. Namibia produces about 60,000 tons of beef annually, of which roughly 20,000 tons are exported to South Africa and the European Union.
The former Argentine President Cristina Fernández de Kirchner has been charged with defrauding the state. She is accused of manipulating the central bank to sell dollars at an artificial low price in the months before she left office. Federal Judge Claudio Bernardo said this cost the state about $5.2 billion. Ms. Fernandez, who was in power in 2007 to 2015, denies any wrongdoing, saying she is the victim of political persecution. She can't appeal against the decision. The accusation is that the central bank sold U.S. dollars on the futures market at an artificially low price ahead of a widely expected devaluation of the Argentine peso. The judge says the move allowed buyers to make a lot of money on the transaction. Former Economy Minister Axel Kicillof, former Central Bank President Alejandro Vanoli, and 12 other ex-government officials were also charged. And that's it for the international news. Stay tuned. We'll be back with the sports news.
In sports this evening, the 2016 National Road Baton Relay, a 30-kilometer race reserved for athletes at the various senior high schools, has been launched in Accra. The event has been set for Ghana's Republic Day, the 1st of July.
On the 1st of July this year, Accra is expected to come alive with the second edition of the National Road Baton Relay, involving long-distance runners from all senior high schools in the country. The initiative by Dreamland Sports Plus is aimed at contributing to Ghana's efforts at identifying talents in long-distance running and grooming them for the nation. Launching the event in Accra, the CEO of Dreamland Sports Plus, Mr. Emmanuel Ola Williams, explained the rationale for choosing SHS athletes.
In organizing this event, Dreamland Sports Plus hopes to achieve 8 cherished objectives, among which are unearthing and nurturing sports talent among the youth and promoting the effective and psychomotor development of athletes so as to improve their academic performance.
The Communications Director of Dreamland Sports Plus, Mr. William Ayiku Okanse, mentioned the route for the event.
Same 30 kilometers, baton change at 5 kilometers interval. We have 6 athletes running the race. So from Barcelona total, baton change will be done at the barrier, then within the Doma La Scala, and then we terminate at Accra Sports Stadium here. That will be the end point.
Director of Blue Crest College, Mr. Vivek Verma, announced the rewards for winners in the race.
We will be offering 2 full scholarships to the winners in both the boys and the girls category. To offer any undergraduate program at our end, that will amount to somewhere around 50,000 CDs. Apart from that, we'll be offering some excellent gift packs that may include some discount for all the team who are participating in the event. We believe that if we can promote youth, their development either through education or through these kind of sports activities, it leads ultimately to the development of the nation. That is our motive.
The Deputy Youth and Sports Minister, Mr. Vincent Oponga Samoa, advised students to take their academic work and sports serious.
I'm encouraging you, all students, to be part of it. It can be a fun, but who knows where your talent is. At the end of the event, you may discover that initially you may not even think that you had what it takes to run, but after this event, you may discover your talent. So please, let's take this event seriously. I will be there. Last year I was there, and I will be there this year.
The logo for this year's competition was also unveiled. The event is a collaboration between the Ministry of Youth and Sports, the National Sports Authority, the Ghana Athletics Association, and the Ghana Education Service.
Also in sports, a PGA Master Professional, Alex Jerba, has taken 40 sports journalists through a practical session on golfing. The initiative was put together by the Ghana Golf Association with support from the R&A.
The one-day clinic took place at Achimota Golf Academy, which was funded by Italo Oil and designed and built by McGinley Design. The initiative by the Ghana Golf Association, the Ghana Golf Development Board and partners was to enhance the knowledge of sports journalists to ensure accurate reportage on the game. Experienced resource persons, Master PGA Professional Alex Dabar and Stephen Williams took the over 40 sports journalists through some of the languages and techniques of golf reporting. The journalists were also given some practical lessons.
Very good. Excellent. Well done. Very good. Well done.
According to the Ghana Golf Association, when journalists learn the rudiments of the sport, they intend to give accurate, educative and entertaining reports. The PGA Master Professional, Alice Dabar, shared his experience with us.
When I first started, people helped me to get reasonably good, and then if I can pass that on, then I'm delighted as well. So if you can help people to enjoy something, that's got to be good news, hasn't it? So the motivation is to see the kids particularly getting better, and tonight's been fun. Because people have come along that have never hit a golf ball before, and they've seen it going up in the air and all the rest of it, and they seem to have enjoyed it. You probably heard the squeals of delight from along there as soon as somebody made contact with the ball. So the motivation is quite simple, to make people play better if you possibly can.
The president of the Ghana Golf Association, Mr. Mike Agri, said the program will be replicated across the country.
The intention is to replicate this in all the regions. So we shall do the western region, we shall do Ashanti, we shall do the eastern region, and I shall even go up to the northern region where there's no golf course. But I believe that there are people there who need to understand golf and people that need to appreciate the need to play golf.
Officials say golf is not a sport for the rich or the bourgeoisies in society, as many people presume, but a sport for everybody, both sexes, and also a game that promotes discipline, good health, and creates linkages.
Meanwhile, some of the sports journalists who benefited from the one-day golf clinic say the event was timely. While some said it was an eye-opener, others felt the duration must be extended.
It's been a great experience. I do cover the game, but I never had a chance to hold a club. Today, I've been able to hold a club and play, and I think it's very interesting.
It's actually an interesting game, and I missed a couple of times, but it's quite interesting. It is, and I loved it.
It happens to be my first time, and it was great. You know, exactly. No, I mean my first time of swinging, and I expected our leaders, the golfers, to be practicing more often. I mean, letting the journalists practice more often, and that will make us a bit a good thing. But today, I think I'm feeling very great.
Yeah, it was my first time hitting the course and actually holding the club. But all in all, I would say it was a very good experience, and I'm hoping to try it again.
I really enjoyed the game. Seriously, it was my first time, and I was able to shoot most of my balls, and I think it was a great experience.
It's my second time actually, and I would say I really enjoyed the game. It's really a great game, and I will urge all Ghanaians to take part in this sport.
I have been the first Ghanaian blind person to even play golf, and let me tell you that I missed a few, but I also hit on targets.
I hope such interactions like this will help, and I commend the Golf Association, especially Mr. Agri. They are